So now that the beams have been laid and the planking has been put on top of the floor in the room that's going to be half kitchen, half bath, now they're just putting in the final pieces of planking before prepping the floor to pour the concrete. They have to put down a plastic protective layer, and then they put rebar and then run the concrete. They run dowels into the sides of the walls and so forth to tie it all in. Here you can see these guys, they don't use any kind of electric saws or anything. They just hack away at the board till they get what they want. And Salvatore knows exactly what grain is going to give him the width of the plank he needs. It's pretty amazing to watch how they do this stuff with just hatchets. Anyway, he's got that thing cut the way he needs it, and he's going to place it in, and that's the last board that goes down before they start prepping for the concrete work that's coming up. Interestingly enough, these planks aren't very thick. They're probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. I was thinking they were, at least 1.5 inch thick. But they don't need the thickness because they've got the concrete. They basically are a decorative layer that you see from below when you look up at the ceiling. And they stain it and everything once it's all in place. But for the most part, it's enough to walk on. However, it's the concrete pour that they do that makes the floor really strong and ties it all in. Here you can see the view out the kitchen window, and if you stand at the counter depth, it's not bad. You don't see too many antennas and whatnot, so that's kind of nice. And swinging around here, you can see the kitchen wall, and I'm going to take you into the room now that they've swept it up. And so the back half of this is going to be bathroom. And that window is actually going to be moved to the left so that it's a window inside that section of kitchen where the oven and stove will be. The other side will have a window out to the side, not to the back view, because it's a bathroom. We just need some light to get in. Here the next day, coming down to see some more work. Now that the concrete's set up on the floor, I think they put down their first layer of concrete after I had taken that video. And here they're putting the second layer with the rebar on top, and it will basically make that floor complete. You can see how easily these guys go up and down this wooden planking. I have to take the stairs because it's just too precarious for me. Anyway, they've got half of the floor in here poured on top of the rebar wire mesh, and they're leveling it out. And they basically cover the whole floor with one layer that hides the metal mesh, and then they come back after it's dried a little bit and pour some more on top of it. And using some big long pieces of rebar, they span the area with a straight edge and scrape it down so it's level. And it took them about 2 passes or 3 passes to do that. They really have to do a lot of bending, and they keep bringing a steady supply of concrete up, and these guys have to bend over, and it's par for the course that they end up showing a little more than they need to in the video. Anyway, I'd say there's at least 20 wheelbarrows full of concrete to put that floor in. And here he's working his way to the door. And the corners, all the edges of the pour have rebar that anchors into the walls at a 45-degree angle, and they're cemented in, and then that rebar is tied in with the mesh that's being poured under the concrete pour, and that basically stabilizes the whole thing from a seismic standpoint. So looking at the room now that it's all poured here. You can see they do pretty fast work. This will be dry enough tomorrow to do anything they want in there. This wall right here that's between the kitchen and that section where those shelves are, those will actually get torn out. And then an arched opening will be put in here to tie in the two halves of the kitchen together. It'll be a high arch so that we don't bump our heads and so forth. But anyway, that's it for today. Ciao. Okay, so here we are back the next day, and I'm anticipating that the concrete will have been poured in the Galleria, which is the door just off to the right, because they were doing the measurement and leveling. Yep, there it is. New concrete floor in the Galleria. That was the last thing they did yesterday before I caught them on video doing any of that stuff. So this hole in the wall is being left there until they can move the olive press from the other adjacent room into the Galleria. They're going to try and save the small base that it's on and wheel that big olive press wheel in and get it up on top of that. So this is the olive press in the room before they move it. Hopefully it'll hold together. And they're still working in the area where the half kitchen, half master bathroom is. On that far wall behind him is where there's going to be a window for the master bath. And they're filling in the wall. And I was teasing them. I was saying, are you going to fill the whole thing in and then cut the hole for the window? And they all laughed. But anyway, they're filling it in with concrete and some chunks of stone that they have saved from some of the other parts. And they basically, get us a bunch of concrete in there, and then they throw the stones down in there to fill in some of the voids, use less concrete, and actually strengthen the whole thing. Salvatore's filling in some of the little bits in the other room in preparation for closing off that wall. And here you can see these guys just keep bringing the concrete, one wheelbarrow after another, up those planks and dump it into the spot. And as soon as one guy is done wheeling his load up, the next one comes right around the corner. I had to be careful to stay out of the way of these guys. And you can see how fast that things move. They have to move the planks between runs because they've already filled one spot and they need to move over to the next area. So that's a lot of concrete. But yeah, no, they won't be filling it all the way up and then cutting a hole. They're going to actually fill it to the level of the base of the window and then punch the hole in the wall and then form the frame around the window. They think I'm kind of silly. So they keep basically judging how much more they need each time they do a load, because they're going to be throwing big rocks in there to fill it, and so they're trying to save, as much concrete as possible. And these stones are just solid granite stones, and you can see here, they pick up these big stones and then just drop them in. It's not a light stone. Yay, he did it. So that's about it for today. I imagine they're going to knock off soon, so I'm just getting out of there, getting out of their way so they can plug things up for the night. This is the extended edition. Thanks for watching.